This is a regular smoke detector that you get with a house. This one is hardwired. It was built with the house. It came with the house. It's probably 30 years old or so. I don't really know how old this house is, but it still works. It will detect smoke. It runs on power from the house, and if the power ever goes out, it does have a battery backup built in. That battery's dead, so it doesn't actually work whenever the power goes out, but I don't use this one on a regular basis. I just wanted to point out that these are somewhere between $10, $15, $20 new, and I could go get a brand new one and wire it in and replace this one, and they'll last 20, 30 years without a problem. This one on the left, however, is a Nest, and I really like Nest because they are linked together through Wi-Fi. They're monitored through Wi-Fi, so any kind of alarm that goes on, they will alert your phone. They'll do all sorts of different things. They'll notify all the other Nests in the house that, hey, there's an alarm. That's what's going on. Don't pay attention. This is a fiber wire, okay? I needed this to be here, okay? It's a rental. Anyway, I always liked Nest for their smart abilities and how well they worked and whatever. The problem is, this is smoke and carbon monoxide. Now, anytime you have a carbon monoxide detector, if it's ever tripped on carbon monoxide, it's no longer any good. You need to replace it. Carbon monoxide is a one-time use only sensor. So if it's ever tripped, these are technically no longer any good. They might still work, but you're not supposed to use them again. Nest has like a 5-year life expectancy. And once these hit 5 years, they will expire. They won't continue working like any other smoke detector. They'll just expire and be done. And I don't like that. We had one at my dad's house. It did its 5 years of service, and it just started alarming continually because it was no longer any good. And these are sealed units. They're not accessible batteries. The batteries are, supposed to last the 5 years, which they do. But at the end of the 5 years, they just start alarming, and you have to destroy them to make them stop. And I'm lucky this one hasn't hit 5 years yet, but it's getting there. It's getting extremely close to there. And I think the newer ones, they may have upped it's like 8 years now. I'm not really sure. But that's my gripe with Nest. Like, they're such a great idea and a great invention, and it's so poorly executed because, sure, maybe the sensor's not as good 5 years later, but it still works. I mean, if these that are 30 years old and a tenth of the cost still work, then it still works. So don't force me into buying another one. And then this one over here is actually a monitored alarm system. I had these installed. So this one is smoke, and I have another one over here. This one is carbon monoxide. They're both linked to the Cove alarm system. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about. These that are 30, 40, who knows how old these are, they still continue to work. I don't know if the Net or the Cove alarm system ones will expire. They have a replaceable battery, so I would assume as long as they keep the batteries current, they'll continue to work no matter what. But Nest, they put a life limit on theirs, and once you hit that, it's done. It's time to buy a new $180 was what they used to cost. I don't know what they are now, but who knows? They may not even sell them anymore because Nest was bought by Google. So I should check into that. Anyways, see you guys later. So the new second generation lasts 10 years, whereas the first generation was originally 5, and then they upgraded them to 7 years. So I think I may have a 7-year model. I don't think I have the new second generations, which are now 10-year models. I do think it's kind of funny. The battery operated one is $100, wired is $119, or you can get a battery 3-pack for way more than just buying 3 battery ones separately. So that's cool. I mean, I guess they're on sale, but still not really a good deal. I really liked the Nest Protect, but I don't like how you're forced to replace it after at least now 10 years. I know you're supposed to replace them after 10 years anyway, but I just don't like that. here or there, you know, like maybe you're supposed to replace them every 10 years, so whatever, but at the same time, like, you know, these used to be a lot more expensive too, but $100 every 10 years, I didn't like the ending, so I cut it and decided to remake it. Anyway, I guess it is a little better now that it's $100 every 10 years, and, you know, it's not as bad as it used to be, where it was $180 for 5 years. But I don't know. I still am not a huge fan of how they, you know, just lock you out after 10 years. But whatever. You know, if I didn't have the other options I was using, I probably would still use Nest as my main. And I just have these here because that's what I used when we moved in, and then I later had the monitored system installed. So, you know, who knows? When they expire, I'll probably just throw them away and not replace them. So, anyway, that's just want to talk about Nest and how I wish it were done differently, but you know, what do you know?